What is going on, everybody? We are back with another wrestling review. This is CCW, and I am Nick,
I'm Joe.
and we are talking WWE Clash in Paris. Um,
Yes.
they're in, we're in Paris, obviously.
Paris, France.
hence, hence the name, where we will get to hear where we got to hear for the next 4 hours of watching this show, the most annoying 1-2 count crowd reactions in the history of wrestling. Because they did it every single time.
So that is something that I was going to kind of bring up. The crowds lately have been very
It it's European
take over
crowds.
the take over the showy.
Yeah, it's European crowds, and they do this all the
Well,
time.
even the American crowd at the ECW arena that they're in just like want to take the whole damn show over.
Right.
But there's been
Um,
a slew of them lately.
but like WWE just came from overseas as well, so like
Yeah.
we've had to deal with this for like a month and a half, and even first and foremost, there's one just regular chant that they do that American crowds were doing at the ECW arena, the Philly arena, the 2300.
Is it the one that goes da 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 da?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. It sounds dumb.
Insert wrestler's name. Insert wrestler's name in this spot right here.
And then the other one is, yeah, the one where they're like, it's French, so they're like, deux, chaque bleu, and it sounds like they're
I
saying,
thought it was. I
and
thought
then,
it was funny at first.
and then it sounds like they're saying sock and boppers afterwards over and over again. And I'm just like, guys, like, can't we just have normal crowd reactions to things? I don't. It was
Yeah,
funny.
maybe it'll.
It was funny, like, the first couple times they did it a month
But
and a
like you
half
said,
ago.
every single near fall.
But it's every 2 count. It's every time you get 1-2 every single time. And I'm like, I and people love
The
foreign
AEW
crowds.
crowd did it. The AEW crowd did it early on in that thing where they would get 1, 2, and they'd kick out and they'd go sweet for the too sweet thing.
Right.
But yeah,
But
thankfully
yeah,
that one went away as
I
well.
don't I don't know.
No, you paid your money, cheer, but like, yeah, don't try to take the whole show over.
It's not as entertaining. Well, you know what though, we got to hear Michael Cole all night too, so it is what it is.
Anything that can distract from that, right?
Right. Um. 1 second. So yeah. um. As I said, Michael Cole, Wade Barrett on commentary. Um. And then what did I have written next? Um. Oh, I said we do have the second coolest entrance setup for WWE this year because they actually added something to the setup. So that was nice.
Are you speaking of the Eiffel Tower kind of structure thing?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not just a big TV. It at least had something. And that's all I asked
was
for.
It was practically a big TV. It
No,
was
but
like,
dude, I can't say
I
that
get it.
because how many pay-per-views have we watched in the past that we love the entrance for and it was just like a
oh,
car.
in the '90s, or the late '90s, that was part of the whole. That was part of the whole package. You wanted to see what you
Right.
would watch Heat specifically just to see what the setup was.
Right. So yeah, I was just happy to see something that wasn't just a big TV. Is it obviously it's not as elaborate as WrestleMania, but it's way more
No, but
elaborate than what
it was a big
SummerSlam
show.
was.
Yep.
um, Match number 1 to kick off the show: My Tribal Thief Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns.
And this match took for fucking ever.
Yeah, it did. So they started the match off staring at each other for like 3 to 5 minutes, which was irritating the hell out of me. They were soaking in the crowd, is what they were doing, and
If you had to guess how long this total segment lasted, from entrances to post match to all of that, how long would you say?
probably about 25 minutes.
The whole match, the whole thing.
That's what it felt like. Are you talking about the post match beatdown as well?
I'm talking about everything that connected Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns.
Oh, that's probably about 45 minutes, easy.
It was 52 minutes.
Yeah.
This was the whole first hour, essentially, of the show.
So these two guys stare at each other for 3 to 5 minutes. The crowd starts chanting "Fuck you, Bronson," and the most normal chant thing of the night. So that was nice. Um, we shortly into the match we get a body check battle, which I don't know how you feel about those. I know you don't like slap chop battles.
It was different. I gave it a pass.
Reigns went to go pick up Reed, and Reed collapsed on top. Well, Reigns collapsed with Reed on top of him, so that was fun.
Yeah, they did the big man spot where the big guy falls on top of the little guy trying to pick him up.
Although I would never consider Roman a little guy, but
No, but it served its purpose here.
You would think he was with what happens later. So
yes, that was my favorite spot of this whole match. If it's the one I'm thinking you're talking about.
Listen, if it's the one that you think that I think that I'm talking about, it's my favorite spot of the night. It has nothing to do with just the match. It was the whole night because something happened that I've been waiting to see happen to much littler people.
Yes.
And it was amazing. So Reed dominates most of this match with a very grounded arsenal.
Yep.
Every time Roman starts to make a comeback, Reed would come back and knock him down.
Yep, he'd cut him off
and continue to do what he does. Eventually, Roman comes back and goes for a Superman punch, but gets caught in a Uranagi for his troubles. He comes back again, goes for a Superman punch again, and gets caught mid-air into a Death Valley driver. I was like,
yeah.
He's countering. At this point, you knew he was going to lose for sure because he's countering everything that Roman normally does, so he's going to end up losing this match.
Yep.
At this point, this big fucker did a super kick, which was hilarious to watch happen. Reigns then hits 2 Superman punches on Reed. Reed kicks out of the pin attempt at 2. Reed knocks Reigns outside. Hits a self-unaliving dive because I don't think we're allowed to say the word on YouTube, but he dove through the ropes.
You would be correct.
He goes for a tsunami. Reigns moves out of the way. Reigns goes for a spear. And this is it. This is it right here. So Reigns goes for a spear, and he hits Reed, but Reed doesn't move. Reed just grabs him and power bombs the shit out of him.
Yeah, he does.
And I popped because, again, I never want to see somebody like Jey Uso hit a spear on this man again and it work. Ever again.
He should, at the very least, just bounce off.
But yeah, no, this was amazing. I watched him manhandle Roman Reigns out of a spear, and I popped. Too bad it didn't last for too long. So,
yeah, Roman does his version of the 5 moves of doom, and
yeah, Reigns finally does end up hitting Bronson Reed with a Superman. But there's too many R's for last names and first names, and I almost always mess them up.
Well, you got Braun and Bronson here real soon, so
right. Reigns hits a Superman punch while Reed's on the top rope, and then Simone drops him off of the top rope. And then Reigns does hit a successful spear. And then Reigns gets the win. Which I don't mind him winning with a spear because, again, he's a bigger guy.
sure.
It's at least believable. It's when Jay does it to somebody like Bronson Reed that I'm like...
Yeah, there's just too many people doing it. There should be no more than 2. Right. No more than 2 people doing it. Instead, Rhea does a version. Jay does a version. Charlotte does a version. I'm sure I'm forgetting like 3 other people. Like way too many people do that. that move.
And that's just in WWE. That's not even when we start to dip over
Yeah,
into
we
AEW.
didn't even count the spear is AEW or is WWE's version of AEW's elbow exchange.
Right. So yeah, Reigns hits the spear, gets the win. I said meh because I really thought they should have put Reed over here.
Yeah, my main complaint for this entire thing, plus the post match, is it doesn't matter how good you make the guy look during the match. If he's not winning matches, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The vision is not taken seriously. This group has not taken off because they don't win anything.
So I had mentioned that on Twitter, and somebody wanted to argue with me, right? And
everything they do is post match.
And
it's
well, somebody wanted to argue with me, right? And he was like, "It's the dude that I've told you about that I'm cool with, but he doesn't think WWE can do any wrong. Everything is perfect."
Oh, yes, he's one of those tribalistic.
And he goes,
"There's nothing better."
Oh, I guess it's just kind of like how with the Death Riders and how Mox was the only one that would win. And I said, yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly why I hated the Death Riders for so long, was because Mox is the only one that was getting wins and everybody else was eating losses.
Yeah,
for the
he
entire
should listen
time.
To the podcast, we do complain about both shows.
There is a reason that I've agreed with the fact that they've started calling this group the Seth Riders.
Ooh, I hadn't heard that, but I could understand that.
It's way too similar in my opinion, and the problem is Seth's group is much bigger in size. Like, they should be dominating people.
Yeah. Especially with who he picked.
Yeah. So that was So post match, Reigns is celebrating outside of the ring. Gets in, surprises Paul Heyman, and Heyman's doing the whole "I love you, my tribal chief" thing. Reigns demands that he gets his shoes back, and then he puts Heyman in a guillotine choke, and then walks outside. Once he gets outside, he starts to sign shoes and starts tossing them to the crowd. And listen, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I actually did not expect Braun Breaker to come out of where he came out of.
I knew something was up because of the camera angle they were using.
I figured he was going to show up because there's no way they just let that go over clean, over fully, right?
Well, it was over clean, but there had to be the normal Raw post-match bullshit.
Right. I'm just talking about the full experience wasn't clean. So you knew people were going to come out and do something. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. I was like, okay, I wonder where Breaker's going to come from. I wasn't expecting him to come from the timekeeper table area across table.
He jumped on the barrier, jumped on the table, ran across the table to another table to spear him.
Mid-signature as well. So
yeah, it was a good spot.
It was fun. Breaker spears him through the table. At which point they throw him back into the ring. And the crowd starts chanting "Who let the dogs out?" which was amazing. It was the whole song too. They were just sitting there, "Who let the dogs out?" Woof. It was amazing.
Woof.
As everyone was leaving, Braun Breaker runs back down the aisleway, speared Roman again in the aisleway. They then drag him back into the ring. Reed tsunamis him.
Multiple times.
He only got him the first time. And then a bunch of people ran to the ring. They get Roman. They put him on a stretcher board because they're going to try and take him out. Reed gets back on the turnbuckle, tsunamis him again. At this point, Jey Uso comes out and starts to super kick everybody, but he eventually gets speared. And then Reed gets on the turnbuckle and tsunamis Roman again. And that was the last time he actually only got 3 tsunamis on him, surprisingly. With as long as they were out there.
All their dominance being post-match and not giving this guy a win. You could have protected Roman by having Braun interfere and allowing him to get the win. These guys need wins.
My thing
They're
is,
not going to be taken seriously if
my
they're not going over, especially if you're
you
writing Roman off a TV for a long time, anyways.
you don't even have to protect Roman. What's there to protect? You ain't gonna take the man's prestige away. You can let Reed go over clean.
They're not going to, because eventually he's going to be a thing. But even if you don't want to put him over clean, you can they can put these guys over where, like you said, Reigns is not going to lose any luster for this. He's got the out with Breaker, with whatever shenanigans they plan for to get these guys over. Because, like you said, they're not over. They're just lackeys.
Yep.
They're just people to get chanted at. Uh, it's so annoying because this group has been together for a few months now, and they've not gotten over any more than they did the night they debuted, and it's frustrating.
Yep. And yeah, that is my biggest problem. No matter how many post-match beatdowns and tests of pure savagery you show,
Yeah, it means
if you
shit.
keep losing matches, you're just a bunch of losers, and that's it.
Yeah, you look like dweebs who can't get it done from bell to bell.
I wouldn't say dweebs. That's a silly name to call somebody that could whoop my ass.
Yeah, that's my name for Ricochet, anyways.
I don't know if he could whoop my ass though.
Who, Ricochet?
Reed and Breaker probably could.
Oh, I would run from both of those gentlemen.
Breaker would
I
catch
could probably
me.
get away. I was about to say I could probably get away from Bronson, but Braun, I am not getting away from.
But no, it's so stupid. There's no reason to have them. There's no reason to give them the Death Riders treatment. There's
no reason to protect Reigns that badly. He's the top guy. He's not going to lose anything. You bake in the protection during the match. The numbers game gets to him. He wants to be out on his own anyways. This is a whole new thing for him. He's got to remember who he was, etc. and so forth. And especially because you're writing him, he wasn't going to do more than a week's worth of TV and a pay-per-view anyways, and then he's going to be gone for who knows how long.
Right.
So you bake all that stuff in anyways, and it makes no difference. Now people aren't going to remember that he lost that match when he comes back from his little mini vacation to work his other probably 5 dates that he's got left for the entire rest of the year.
Yeah, he's out for filming.
He'll be back at Survivor Series.
Well, he's out to film Street Fighter.
Oh, even better.
So where Cody's
I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, by the way, people. And the casting of this movie is atrocious.
Yeah, very. So yeah, if you want to backstage, Pierce.
Backstage, we get Adam Pierce being big mad at Braun and Bronson, and essentially he bars them from the building. And they're like, "We'll be back. You can't stop us." Blah 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 blah. He's like, "Oh yeah. You want to come back? Yeah. If you do, I'm suspending you indefinitely without pay." So there's that. And they kind of
begrudgingly
walk off after that. Security kind of escorts them out of the building. And my literal notes go, "Yeah, we'll see."
Right. Go ahead.
Oh, the next match. Oh man, I hate this. I hated this match, by the way.
I thought it was the third best match of the night.
There was some really sloppy spots here, and that's not saying much given some of the stuff on here, but it's the second worst match on the card.
See, I
Profits,
disagree.
Street Profits, versus the Wyatts. So, and this gets me right from the start. There was a advertising tie-in to this match as the Profits came out dressed like Borderland characters from the new Borderland video game that they then advertised as they came to the ring, which that's super cool.
It depends, right? It depends for me. Because I feel like if it's a game that they actually like, that they want to promo,
Sure.
I don't have a problem with it. Kind of like, think of like Will Ospreay, right? If he gets the opportunity to do an Assassin's Creed tie-in,
He does that, but Assassin's Creed's not also advertising the show.
No, but they were definitely advertising a couple times he's done his entrance.
It's because he likes something. It wasn't the logo plastered all over their gear and then a announcer coming over and plugging the game.
You must have missed this completely different entrance than I'm talking about his Shadows entrance, his Assassin's Creed Shadows entrance, when he had the ninjas all flipping around and the Assassin's Creed Shadows logo on the screen. All In? Last year? Not this year, but last year?
Yeah. I don't remember it. And if I did, I probably would have made fun of it as well.
But I also know that's something he wanted to do. That's not something that they just stuck with him. Like, that's... Hell yeah, he wants to be in a goddamn show or movie if he can. Like, he's all for it. But that's where, again, he's always advertised Assassin's Creed with him. Like, it's a whole part of his build as a wrestler. Whereas,
yeah, anyways, I don't know if Dawkins and Ford share the same interest in Borderlands that Will Ospreay shares in Assassin's Creed,
and that's why Maybe I don't know how wrong. I feel.
You're giving them an immense, you're giving them an immense out if that is the case.
It just depends. I just don't know if it's something that they like or not. That's why, as a fan,
it's the WWE,
probably not.
Probably not.
As a fan, I thought the gear looked cool. I liked the masks, but I'm not a Borderlands fan, so I don't care much for it.
I like the Borderlands games, and I thought this was egregious.
Listen, I will take this over Slim Jim tables any day.
I was going to bitch about that later.
We will.
Because if we get Slim Jim tables, can we just have Cracker Barrel barrels?
So funny enough, did you see? We'll get there. Go
ahead. Let's see. This match, Borderlands gear, did not like it. So, we've been watching these shows for
while
now.
Real quick. Going back to the Borderlands gear thing, my problem with the Borderlands gear was, I don't remember which one it was. So there's Dawkins, and he's the bigger guy, right?
His gear was awful.
So it's not even Borderlands gear. He wears his normal pants, and it's like a tank top where they took a marker and they drew the logo on his tank top. It looks so crappy.
Was awful.
It looks so.
It was awful.
The masks were cool, but everything else I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. I wanted to paint that.
So we've been watching these shows for a while. When did Dawkins and Ford not get along?
Bro, my very first sentence, 2 sentences, aside from the Street Profits thing, was, for some reason this match has a story of the Street Profits not getting along at first either. Did I miss something from a previous show?
It totally took me out of the match. I'm like, when did they? And then they worked fine together the whole rest of the match.
The only thing I can think of is there was the segment from SmackDown where Bo Dallas, as Bo Dallas.
Oh yeah, going around telling everybody to Bo leave.
Was talking to the Street Profits before they had their match with Mello Don't Miz.
Yep.
And actually said something along the lines of, if you guys win when you come to face us, we'll see how much your brother cares for you. I remember him saying that. And I feel like they tried to do the whole sowing some ideas of deceit between the two then. And the big thing is, it didn't feel like it when they had their match with Mello and Miz. It felt like they were just their normal selves. So then we get to tonight's show, or today's show, yesterday's show as of this recording. We get to that show, we get to Clash, and all of a sudden, I do know for a fact they did a backstage interview with the Street Profits prior to the show starting, because I had it up and going while I was off doing something in the kitchen, and I happened to glance over, and seen that
the pre-show.
they were talking backstage with somebody during the pre-show. I don't know what was said, and I don't know if they used that as a way to do that, to paint whatever narrative they were going with that. But it still felt really weird that they didn't show off any deceit at all during any of the shows leading up to it. And then all of a sudden they're just like, oh yeah, they're not really on the same page. It didn't make any sense.
It made no sense. And it was brief because the rest of the match, they were fine. There was no mess ups. There was no anything that would lead you to believe there was any more dissent between them. Plus, this match was essentially 5-on-2. So
true.
There's that as well.
I did like the ending, though. It was fun. Weird, but fun.
If you say so.
Look,
started out the match.
You were never going to convince me that the White Six aren't the best tag team in WWE right now. They're amazing. I love them. And all their creepiness.
It's a very low hurdle to clear. Yeah. So this match was nothing. Lots of distraction spots. Some outside interference. Dawkins was distracted by old Redbeard there for a while. Nikki Bella literally just grabbed Montez Ford's foot when he went to get back in the ring. Bo Dallas jumped up, gave him a Sister Abigail, rolled him back into the ring. They hit their little suplex, sit-out powerbomb finish for the win. And I put this was a SmackDown level match at a pay-per-view.
That wasn't Bo Dallas. That was Uncle Howdy.
It's the same person.
Yeah. So I loved that when Nikki Cross somehow at some point Nikki Cross slid underneath the ring, which is where she grabbed his foot from, which I thought was great. Little tiny person.
I'm so confused with their character. Are they heels? Are they baby faces? Because people cheer them, but then they do heel things.
Is that not how things go? How many people how many people have acted as heels and get cheered all the time? It happens all the time.
I know, but it's just I hate. They're never going to lose the titles if they get to wrestle 5-on-2 all the time.
They're not going to get to wrestle like that all the time. Somebody's eventually going to come along and put them in a situation where they can't have anybody else help them.
Oh, here's hoping it's soon.
You know what? Kiss my ass. They're great. Just because you don't like spooky wooky stuff in wrestling don't mean you and your people have to ruin it for the rest of us.
I don't mind spooky stuff in wrestling. I just don't find this to be spooky.
Is it ever?
Speaking of them and spooky, I saw a walkthrough of their Halloween Horror Night house.
Was it good?
No. It was fine. There was a lot of, obviously it was very wrestling heavy.
Right.
It was fine. It was probably the weakest house at Halloween Horror Nights, but they can't, because there's so much branding on it, they can't really do horror properly with those characters.
Right.
So it was very weird.
Yeah. I enjoyed the match, but I understand why you didn't.
It was fine. It was a fine match. There was a spot where Montez Ford fucked up, and they had to do kind of a reset thing. There's a big one in the next match too.
They hit their Street Profits hit an electric chair blockbuster combo that was fun.
Yes, that was a cool move. Like, okay, I don't want to make it seem like I'm shitting on this match that hard, because the wrestling was fine. It was fine.
I also love. So which one is it? It's because there's I think it's Dexter. So I'm thinking of. Dexter's the one I always forget his name, and he does one of my favorite things in that group.
Dexter Loomis.
And it's that weird thing where he crawls on his knuckles across the ring.
Yeah, there was a spot where he did that when one of the Prophets was about to run forward at him, and he slid down onto his knuckles and knuckle crawled towards him.
Joe Gacy, he used to do the weird bend over backwards spider crawl at people.
Yeah, the crab walk thing.
But I don't know if he does that anymore because I don't think he did that during this match.
I think Tekla stole it from him.
Well, Tekla looks better doing it, to be fair.
Yeah, I won't deny that.
All right. Next match, Women's Intercontinental Championship match, which was it's listen, you took my favorite women's wrestler all time,
and put her against his least favorite of all time,
and put her against somebody who I thought is one of the most overrated women in the history of wrestling, not just WWE, of wrestling.
Yep, someone who literally got where she was due to who she was sleeping with at the time.
And I won't go necessarily that far. I will say, she tried. she was a standout at a time where there wasn't much to stand out against.
It was all about aesthetics. It was the fitness model era where all you had to do was look the part. You didn't have to actually have the ability to work.
So,
and with that, she has a good look. She is a very fit woman.
We get these women out there. There was one part where Becky Lynch grabbed Nikki's arm because she was about to punch her, and I thought she was going to make Nikki hit herself, and I was waiting for it to happen.
Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
And I would have that would have at least boosted the matchup for me so high. Because I don't think I've ever seen somebody do that in a wrestling match, and if she would have did that to Nikki, I would have lost my shit.
Yeah, there was a bunch of bad spots in this match.
They get into this really weird slap fight that should have never happened. And here's the thing. When I say slap fight in this instance, I'm not talking about they took turns chopping each other. I'm talking about...
It's not the AEW special.
I'm talking about they both had both their arms out and was swinging wildly, slapping.
Flailing. Yeah, just flailing.
Towards each other. And I was like, what are we doing?
It was supposed to be like like when the men do like the hockey fight, which you'll see later on in the very next match. But they were just flailing wildly at each other.
It looked like Bart and Lisa when they do it.
Well, I'm just going to kick my legs, and if you run into it, that's your problem. Well, I'm just going to swing my arms, and if you run into it, that's your problem.
So then there's this spot right shortly after where Nikki's running towards the turnbuckle, and she goes to jump off the turnbuckle to jump back to do her little toe kick that she does off the turnbuckle. And Becky was not in the spot that she was supposed to be in, and Nikki completely missed. And by missed, I mean Becky wasn't there to connect with.
At all.
So then Becky goes and does the thing where she makes it look like she kind of got hit, but then she realized, you could see the gears turning, that she realized that it's going to look worse.
That looked terrible. Yeah, it was definitely running through her head.
So she put in a submission to try and slow things down and get back to
it was a total reset spot. Like, hold on a second.
It was disgusting.
And commentary, bless their heart, Wade Barrett tried to cover it.
Yeah, he did.
He tried like hell to cover that.
And then out of nowhere, Becky wins with the mousetrap pin roll up. Thank God.
There were some bad spots. Becky's taking the head slamming on the tables on the outside was awful.
Yeah, it was sloppy.
Awful. Just don't do the spot. If you can't do it, don't do it.
So for those of you that may not have watched, this was the only match that Joe and I differed on our opinions on our pick'ems.
Yeah.
And he got it right. But I did I've never been so happy to lose a pick'em thing in my life. LMAO. I was thrilled. I
actually got every match on this house show. I mean, premium live event, 100%ed.
True.
Yay me.
And then I said it was honestly an okay match until it got sloppy after the botched rebound kick spot. Once that botched rebound kick spot happened, everything fell apart.
They tried really hard. They did. They tried really hard. It just they did not have the greatest of chemistry. There was very sloppy spots. Becky should never take the slamming into the table spots ever, because she is awful at it.
Yeah.
She is. I don't know if because she's had her nose broken. She's afraid to take any kind of remotely close face bumps. But then just don't do it. Don't
Right.
do it. Find something else.
We then get a backstage segment where Adam Pearce is asking Jey Uso if he can go, and Jey Uso's like, "I'm gonna go, man," and that was pretty much it. Um, match 4. Go ahead, Bizzle.
This is what I thought would have been Nick's match of the night.
It was until later. This ended up being my second favorite match of the night. That is for sure.
So, Sheamus versus Rusev in the Donnybrook, is that what they called it?
The good old-fashioned Donnybrook match.
So, this started out fast with the aforementioned hockey fight where they're just kind of pummeling each other in the head. The brawl spills to the outside.
Did you hear the part where Rusev was coming out here during his entrance, and Wade Barrett goes, "Hurrah!"
No, I must have missed that. I must have during the entrances. I'll go like refill my cup and stuff. I probably was refilling a beverage at that time and did not hear that, but I could totally hear Barrett saying that.
He does it. I'm pretty sure it was when Sheamus does his stomp during his entrance, and it's like he gave him a sound effect. And
well, that was nice of him.
It was either that or you could see, like, it was while Rusev's mouth was open and it looked like he was screaming. I don't know if it was accidental timing, because I don't think he made the sound for a sound effect reason. I think he was trying to clear his throat, or he was readjusting things after having the table destroyed earlier and he was frustrated, right? And he was growling through it, trying to get it. But the timing was immaculate. And I start laughing, and all of a sudden Michael Cole goes, "Wait, are you okay?"
Somebody on the earpiece must have been like, "Hey, you weren't muted."
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just trying to readjust I don't remember what his excuse was. I laughed, though, because the timing and everything. It was like
Michael Cole tried to cover for him. That's nice.
It was like, have you ever watched bad lip syncing on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it felt like, because Rusev's mouth was open and you just heard someone else's voice go, "Ah!" Anyway,
that's crazy. So hockey fight in the ring spills to the outside. They eventually set up 2 of the Slim Jim tables, which I still think are stupid. Kendo sticks were gotten by Rusev. Kendo shits. Kendo sticks. Shots by Rusev to Sheamus. They had a botch where they had to do a reset spot where Sheamus went for his Celtic backbreaker and Rusev didn't get up for it. So they had to reset and hit the move. Rusev runs into the chair that he put in the corner to screw himself over. We got a Celtic cross, which was a rare. I don't see him do that move very much anymore. So that was a nice spot.
He did the whiteout.
He did do white. He does the whiteout almost the white noise. Yeah, the whiteout. God, no, that's just his complexion. There was a cool spot because they had different things around the ring. They had barrels on one side, which were supposed to be whiskey barrels. They had a bar on another, chairs and Kindle sticks, blah, 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 right? Lots of stuff around the ring. Well, at one point, they had a bar on one side. Well, Rusev tipped the bar over and then slammed Sheamus through the wooden bar that they had set up. So that spot was cool. Let's see, what else did we do? It was just mayhem. At one point, Rusev had him in a camel clutch on the whiskey barrels.
So the accolade on the whiskey barrels. Sean Ross Sapp took a picture of that and said, "The new Cracker Barrel logo, everybody."
Yeah. if you're gonna put Slim Jims on the tables, why can't we have Cracker Barrel logos on the whiskey barrels?
I was like, that's amazing.
With the amount of whiskey and adult beverages that they now sponsor,
Wheatley should be on there.
Why isn't Wheatley throwing some shit on there? Or we just had the spot on SmackDown with Adam Pearce and Fireball whiskey.
Right.
Why isn't Fireball
Listen,
branded on the side of the barrels? If you're going to do it, don't half-ass everything, WWE.
At the very least, SmackDown at least doesn't typically put logos on their mat in the ring. I will give them that. The last few weeks I've watched, they have not had any. So.
Good for them. Eventually, they're standing on the barrels. Sheamus picks up Rusev, slams him through the 2 tables. Let's see. Brogue kick, near fall. Shillelagh shot into the back, near fall. Yeah. And then eventually Rusev locks in the accolade with the broken part of the Shillelagh for the tap-out win. It was a very good match.
That accolade with the Shillelagh, when he pulled back super fucking far.
Yeah.
I
liked the match. The match was really good. I just wish they wouldn't have wrestled
5 other times before.
Yeah. If they could have cut the other matches down by 2 and still gotten to this point. Like the battling around the arena spot and like one other match would have been plenty to build this up to this level.
What they should have done is they shouldn't have even had entrances. They should have just fought from the back out to the thing. Like they've been in this whirling dervish for the last 4 weeks.
You wanted them to be like Darby Allin from AEW, where he's just everything starts backstage and it just spills into the arena.
It's still going on backstage from 2 weeks ago. So they just they get on. I all of a sudden need to believe that they got onto the moving truck fighting, and then it carried them all the way to where they were going.
Shipped them over on a cargo airplane as they fought the whole way over.
Dropped them in with parachutes, fighting in the air.
No, for what this was very well done. Kudos to the guys. They actually made me care about it by the end. Because I was not looking necessarily all that forward to this. But the right winner happened too. This does way more for Rusev than it would have for Sheamus. Sheamus doesn't look bad in defeat. It accomplished everything it needed to accomplish.
And also, is it weird to you seeing Rusev really, really lean?
So he was very lean and in shape in AEW. I actually think he looked a little soft in the middle.
I guess
since he's been back.
I guess for me, he feels more. He in my mind felt more threatening his last WWE run was as big as he was. Because he was like wide, right?
He was wide. He's in much better shape now.
He's in better shape, but it doesn't look as...
Shit, dude. He looks menacing as hell. When he does the little flex thing where his chest and arms and shit, he's wide as can be anyways. Like, he doesn't need to be any bigger.
It's like, I guess for me, when people are bigger, things come off as more powerful to me.
Well, you also got to think, he's been standing next to Sheamus for like 6 weeks now, and Sheamus is a massive human being. Right.
But another prime example of somebody that I could think of like this as well is Walter / Gunther. When he was Fat Walter, I felt like it looked like his slaps and stuff hurt more because there's more meat behind it.
To me, he just looked like a giant baby in black trunks instead of a diaper.
Well, now he just looks like a green bean in black trunks instead of a diaper.
He's still a very big man. That is still a very big man.
I mean, I wouldn't want to take a slap to the chest from him, regardless of which version it is. I'm just saying. I don't know. I liked him better as Fat Walter than Gunther.
The Gunther name is what kills me.
So, match 5, John Cena versus Logan Paul.
Cena.
I said we had a pretty slow start. Eventually, Logan hits what is the ugliest buckshot lariat I have ever seen in my life. And then Wade immediately goes, "That's about as good as you're going to see that move." And I was like,
I literally said, no,
no,
you need
it's
to watch
not.
the other product.
Paul gets Cena in an octopus hold, and then Cena gets Paul in the STFU. Cena hits a tornado DDT. Cena then hits an angel wings on Logan, which was wild because I don't think he's ever done that move in his life.
He's done it before, I believe. He also
Um,
hit an end of days.
Logan's nose starts bleeding at some point. And then it took him like 45 seconds to try and do the 5 knuckle shuffle.
Dude, he had a bunch of spots in this match where he posed and postured to the crowd way too much.
Yeah, he did. Cena jumped up, did the AA on him. Logan kicked out of that. Cena then hits a Hurricane Karana, which I haven't seen him do in a while.
Yep.
He
Last one I remember is well, it's probably because I've watched it as many times as I have the Punk match at Money in the Bank when Punk won. And he did one there too.
Yeah. There's Cena hit a Hurricane, then he hit a Code Red right after.
Yep. Or Pop Rocks if you're a WWE fan only.
I said he's pulling out all the old school Cena stuff. Where's the Cena Stunner? Which never happened, by the way.
No, it didn't, but he did do somebody else's move.
Paul hits back-to-back Paul from Grace frog splashes. I said I hate the name. Cena kicked out of those. Paul then hits the 5 knuckle shuffle, at which point Cena reverses a move, I don't know what it was, into a Styles Clash, and then Paul kicked out of that. And then Cena ends the match with 2 attitude adjustments. And basically, my overall review of the match basically says the match started extremely slow, ended okay, but I'm not sure how I feel about both guys just hitting moves that neither of them ever really do, just to prove the other person wrong.
My note was at the end, very similar. I put, man, they did a lot of moves.
Like, I feel like the moves that were like, I'm obviously one of those people who I'm not a huge Cena fan. I've always loved him as a person. I've not been a big in-ring fan of his. And a lot of it is because of the whole 5 moves of doom thing that he had running for his whole career.
The fans don't shout "you can't wrestle" at you if there's not I think Cena can wrestle, but it when you get the memes of the 5 moves of doom and people are shouting "you can't wrestle" and shit like that, there's a reason for it. Right. It's because you have fallen into a certain kind of rhythm where that's all you do.
Yep. And you know what? Every now and again he would do something really cool. Like, I don't know, pick up Big Show and somebody else in an AA and hit them both at the same time.
Him and Edge.
Was it him and Edge?
Yep.
You know, little things like that were always really cool to see happen. Obviously, he couldn't do that now, but
Cena got it's like being typecast as like a certain character if you're a character actor, right?
Right.
He got stuck doing the same old shit night in, night out, ad nauseum, and didn't have to branch out to do the other things that he could do, not nearly enough to not shake off those stereotypes.
Right. So yeah, like I was saying, one of my big problems with this match was definitely the whole I felt like they were doing moves just for the sake of doing moves.
Yeah.
To prove that they had them to do.
Yeah.
And here's the other point that I want to make as well, right? We've talked about this before. I think Logan Paul is really fucking talented. I think
he is athletically gifted.
I think when he gets in the ring, he does some crazy stuff you don't see too many people do. I think it's fun. I think my problem with him isn't even necessarily the gimmick that he's running, because it's a gimmick as old and tried and true as time for heel wrestlers. Just be a douche.
It's just execution.
But
he's awful on the microphone.
But he's awful on the mic in the same way that like The Miz started off awful on the mic, right? And because that's who he reminds me of in terms of possibility, like what he could achieve in time if he learns to hone some of this stuff that he's not very good at.
Yeah, because the Miz ended up being the Miz is a good worker.
Yeah.
Miz will probably never get the flowers he deserves for being as good a worker as he is, but the Miz ended up being a really good worker.
Right.
But
So
that was back in a day when you had house shows and you could hone your craft and do all this. This guy has wrestled 23 matches across 5 years now.
And I feel like a big part of why he's not respected by the crowd as a wrestler is because he only wrestles at pay-per-views.
Yeah, like he comes across as an outsider. He comes across as some entertainment dude who just pops in from time to time to collect his paycheck, to do his little spots,
now,
and goes away.
Obviously, we don't know if he wrestles the more independent show, because they still do house shows from time to time.
They do big house shows. They're like special event things that like MSG and stuff like that.
We don't know if he goes to those because we don't watch those. So he might.
He probably does, but even still, it's.
But he doesn't wrestle on TV, and that's what he needs to be doing. He needs to be wrestling on TV.
Yep.
But yeah, over and above all, like I said, it's an okay match that I just feel like was more of a move showcase for the two of them than an actual match.
Yeah, there was no psychology. It was like, all right, we're moving to the next spot where you do this move. Okay, we're moving to the next spot where I do this move. Okay, we're moving to the next spot. And then, okay, we're going home. This is a finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You get to talk about the match of the night. Let's go.
Well, first we had a Seth Rollins backstage interview where they asked him how he was feeling about not having any backup. He's essentially saying, he's Seth Rollins. He doesn't need any backup. He's 2 steps ahead of everybody. He's Seth freaking Rollins.
I chose the division, but I don't need the division.
Yeah, so the main event of Clash in Paris was Jey Uso versus La Knight, as you like to call him, versus CM Punk versus the Visionary, the Revolutionary, Seth freaking Rollins.
Am I the only one that thought when Punk came out during his entrance, he looked like Brawl Out press conference Punk from the very beginning? And I was like, oh, he's having a bad day.
His hair.
He's having a bad day.
I hate his hair. Phil, please cut your hair.
And shave, dude. For the love of God, shave.
Well, you don't have to shave. Keep the beard. The beard works.
It's a stubble.
You've had the beard for a long time. It's still a beard. Keep it. I've seen a clean faced Punk. I've got a picture with him.
I was waiting for him to start eating fucking muffins.
Boy, hey, that's my favorite. That's my favorite type of Phil right there. Damn it, Nick, you're getting me all distracted.
I got him all hot and bothered.
Hot and bothered's not the way I would put it, but Jey Uso's out first, yeeting his way to the ring with his ribs all taped up due to his run-in earlier in the night with the remaining members of the Vision. La Knight was out next, Punk, then Seth. The first notes I have after the baby faces all team up and beat up Seth for a while. Punk catches Jay with a clothesline when he was going to do a dive to the outside. Seth mocks Punk with a knee in the corner and a taunt. Seth was kind of all over everybody there after they beat him down for a while. They all ganged up on him again. Baby faces were all going to put Seth through a table where Punk pushed Jay in the chest and said, "Jay, get the tables," like he was Bubba telling Devon to get a table. They set a table up on the outside.
And then Jay super kicked everyone.
With each other. Yeah, they ended up fighting with each other instead. Jay super kicks people because he was like, you know what, I'm not going along with this. Yeah, Jay betrays Punk and Knight. Seth goes into the crowd for some reason. Jay goes after him. LA Knight kind of catches him off on the other side. They eventually fight their way back to the ring. There was a bad table spot where Knight bumped into Punk off the apron to knock him through the table that was set up. Punk kind of just bounced off of it, and it broke as he bounced off of it.
I am the table.
Yeah, it he bounced off of it, hit the floor, and then it kind of broke. It was
real quick.
It was weird.
Did you see post match? He went over and jumped onto it to finish breaking it for the crowd.
Who, Punk?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't.
So after Seth and everybody walked out, Punk was goofing off on the outside of the ring while they were doing. They were starting to set up for the post match scrum.
The post show.
And he walks over to the table because it's not fully broken, and he just jumps in the air and double foot stomps through it and goes ahead and finishes breaking it. And then he waves at the crowd and walked off. It's fun times. Keep on.
Yeah, it was a bad table spot. There a good table spot, which also kind of didn't break. Yeah. LA Knight. Who did he have over there? Did he have Seth over there?
It was LA Knight was getting ready to do this elbow drop to Seth, who was on the French
Off
commentator
the top
table.
Rope through the announcement table to the floor, and he got some height and some distance, and
Seth moved.
He hit the table, and the table hit back, and he kind of just slid off the back of it.
I put poor LA Knight.
Yeah, it looked like a rough spot. Eventually, after all that chaos, they get back into the ring. Knight had a BFT spot where he got a near fall.
Jay went for a spear on Seth that Seth reversed into a half pedigree.
Yep, he sure did. At that point, Seth walked around the ring and gave stomps to everybody. Set CM Punk's head inside a folding chair that was sitting upright and was going to stomp his head into the chair. Punk reversed it, hits a GTS. He hits the GTS where Seth hits the ropes and then kind of just falls back onto his shoulders.
Just like he did with Mox and AEW.
Yeah, it's a really cool spot, and Punk's facials kind of sell it really well too. So you could tell he was about to finish Seth off. At that point, some ninja rolled out from under the ring.
Yeah, they did.
And jumped in the ring, gave Punk a low blow while he had Seth up for the second GTS.
I was like, man, that's a really skinny ninja. Who could that be?
Yeah, right. The ninja takes off her mask and stuff, and it's Becky. It's Becky Lynch out there to protect her hot husband.
Her hot American husband.
Her hot American husband. Yes, that is very right. Stomp on Punk. Seth wins, and they celebrate in the ring, as you'll see through our thumbnail.
So funny enough. Obviously, I figured there was going to be a newcomer into the Vision by the end of the show because the other guys got sent out, and I was like, Seth's going to have somebody else come and interfere.
Yeah, you just knew there was going to be interference.
I will admit, 100%, I did not expect it to be Becky. And then when it happened, I felt stupid.
Because it was very obvious.
Because I've been saying this whole time, I think Becky should be in the Vision.
Yeah.
And they waited till the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
And it works. They're going to be this generation's Triple H and Steph minus the actual power. Because nobody runs anything there. But they're at least going to have that on-screen power couple presence that's going to be so annoying.
I hate the way she talks right now anyways, because she talks like Donald Trump.
And he talks like Ross Perot, so it works.
I'm Ross Perot. Vote for Ross Perot.
But I was excited to see her come in and help, because I was like...
That is a deep cut, the Ross Perot thing. You've just alienated like 3 generations of people.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, guys, I'm old.
Google that on your Google machines, kids.
But no, I feel like It was time, and it was a good time. And here's what I'm curious about, though. Is she going to be the wedge between the group before it's all said and done?
I think so.
Because she is going, I feel like she is going to be the one that tries to boss everybody around because her man is Seth Rollins and she is the man. And I don't think, I think Bronson Reed will take it for so long. I don't think Braun will.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna.
Braun's the one that needs to be elevated at the end of all this, anyway. So,
correct. With that being said, I guarantee you what they're setting up, and people have already been talking about it on Twitter, and I don't want to see it, but we're gonna get it.
Punk and AJ.
It's gonna be Punk and AJ versus Seth and Becky.
Becky and Seth.
And here's why I don't want to see it. Here's why I don't want to see it. Would I love to see AJ Lee come back and wrestle? Yes, she was the one person during the Divas era that stood out literally above the rest.
Well, she kind of kick-started the era after the Divas thing.
Right. But would I love to see her come back and wrestle? Yes. But I don't want her inserted into somebody else's feud. I would have rather her come back.
Well, I mean, it's her hot American husband, too, that's been affected, so...
Right. The great thing is, one of those two couples are closer in age than the other.
You leave Punk and AJ alone.
It's not my fault he's almost... Never mind.
He is not that much older than her.
Nah, he's not. He's like
she's our age, and he's 47. She's like 38, and he's 47. So there's like 9 years.
Right.
You're looking it up, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. I believe she's 38.
It is. It's a 9-year difference.
See, look at that. I told you guys I knew my CM Punk stuff.
And the good news is Punk won't be able to flirt with Roxanne Perez while she's around. So anyways.
Well, that's their kid. They joke around that she's their kid all the time.
No, I know. He actually took a Pop Rocks during a house show. I think it was sometime.
I know. I saw it on the Twitter machine.
No, I am like I said, I will be happy to see her. But at the same time, it's not going to be the AJ Lee that I remember. She's not going to be the little cute and crazy psycho lady. It's just going to be Punk's fucking wife. And
I mean, we got to move past the 2010s, man.
No, she can still skip to the ring. Fuck you.
She still may. Who knows? That gimmick was established well before she was his wife, so
listen,
who knows what they do.
I am so glad that storylines and everything aside, she didn't end up marrying Danielson.
No, she was Danielson was already married to Brie by that time, I believe.
Well, they had their on-screen romance, is what I was referencing.
Yeah, I know. That was where she bounced between Punk, him, and Ziggler.
Was it Ziggler?
I think she was with Ziggler first. It was her, Ziggler, and Big E.
Who was it that was in a relationship with Kane and 2 other people? Was it Tori?
You were asking for a lot from a time of wrestling that is kind of the Dark Ages, sir.
Tori. I was right. Tori Wilson. Because
Kane had a bunch of different things with females, didn't she? Didn't he have a program with Lita as well?
He had a thing with Tori. It was his first love interest. And because she ends up betraying him for X-Pac. That's when she joined X-Pac afterwards. And then there was Lita right after that. And then it was like something about a miscarriage with Lita during that whole thing. It was really weird.
Yeah, where they kind of had to like apologize for that because it was in very bad taste.
And then he had an on-screen thing with Kelly, but it was a one-sided thing where he was like stalking her. He abducted her and stuff and made it really weird.
Don't worry, everybody. He got therapy. Him and Daniel Bryan
Yeah,
hashed out all that stuff.
he's a mayor now. So,
Yes, he is. He's a giant trumper too.
the mayor of Knox County.
Yep.
Um, but no, it was. Anyways, back to the show because we digress so much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's leading to a mixed tag match that I don't really want, but like I said, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, you got to further this feud somehow. Otherwise, you're retreading a bunch of retread.
That's all Triple H does.
Well, you're not wrong. Sometimes it feels like we've watched the same episodes of Raw and SmackDown for weeks at a time. Did I tell you that I came home from work and Kristen was watching Raw and she thought she was watching the newest Raw, but she was watching a Raw from the previous week. And I said, "That's not the new Raw." She goes, "Oh." She's like, "I didn't even notice that."
What?
Yeah, because the other one had ended at some point and she didn't notice. And it just kept playing the new one. And she thought it was still the same show.
Listen, do you want to know what I wish would have happened?
What's that?
How in the hell are you going to have Jelly Roll in the crowd and have him not get involved with Logan Paul's match?
He's there as a fan, man. He's a fan first.
I'm just saying. They showed him in the crowd, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's got a concert.
I was watching SRS's review of the show, and he mentioned Jelly Roll, and he mentioned that Jelly Roll lobbied to lose their match on purpose because they were supposed to go over him and Orton, and that he talked them into letting them take the L instead.
Strictly because famous people always come in and win matches, and he wanted to be different.
Yeah. I don't know whether to praise him for that or to be upset. I don't really know what to take from that.
Listen, all I know is I prayed for it and it happened.
Yeah, because I think I had them winning.
No, I think that was one of the ones I actually had them winning as well, and then I was like, well, I guess because I think we both got that one wrong. No, I was just wanting to mimic Drew McIntyre there. Surprisingly, they managed to have a pay-per-view that didn't have Rhea Ripley on it.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I mean, it was only six damn matches.
They didn't have.
It was a card of only 6 matches.
They didn't have Drew McIntyre on it.
Nope. I know Randy Orton. There was a lot of. I mean, I guess you got to save all that stuff for WrestlePalooza.
Thank goodness I'm planning on watching All Out. First, I'll end up watching WrestlePalooza as well. I'm just not gonna go there.
Yeah, I will not be attending. The ticket prices are stupid, and despite what that card could be, I just am not going to pay those kind of prices to watch pro wrestling.
No, not at all.
I did it for Royal Rumble because it was the Rumble, and I'm not going to spend almost the same amount of money on tickets for a lesser pay-per-view than I did for a Royal Rumble match or a Royal Rumble event.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if it is ESPN's first show. Don't care. It's not going to be any different than any other show.
Nope.
But yeah, we did find out during this that apparently NXT shows are still going to be on Peacock.
On the Peacock.
I messaged.
Oh no! I've already canceled my subscription. What am I gonna do?
I will not because I still use Peacock for other things. But
I did too. But guess what? Those other things are on Netflix in different countries.
I messaged Joe, funny enough, at one point, and was like, I feel so bad for Peacock because they are advertising ESPN all over this show on Peacock.
On the Peacock network.
Network.
Well, I mean, they got their X amount of shows, so I mean, I'm sure they were in the negotiation phase and probably could have extended if they would have thrown a bunch of money at them like ESPN did.
Right. There was another wrestling thing.
It's not like it was a bad partnership for anybody.
No, not at all. But yeah, like I said, overall, I actually thought Paris wasn't bad.
No, it was an okay show. It was pretty good. Well, I want a pretty good probably. It was decent.
Oh,
it was.
That's what I was gonna put. In my attempt to be funny on Twitter, some random dude posted a tweet that said, "It's not random. It's a guy that goes by the name of Humble Wrestling." Which, if you're on Twitter, wrestling Twitter specifically, most people will know who he is. He posted, "Logan Paul's moveset is just finishers of wrestlers better than him," and I said, "Yo, chill, man. He's just backyard wrestling." Because that's basically what we did as backyard wrestlers, is we just did other people's finishers in the WWE as our normal moveset.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what you do as a kid. But we tried to do other things. We tried to have some. Well, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
I was gonna say we tried to have psychology. No, we just tried to have fun.
But yeah, that is going to be this one, guys. Not their best show of the year, not their worst show of the year.
Yeah, it was kind of a middle of the road show.
It was definitely
after that collision. It was
definitely better than the rest of the wrestling that started from Friday on.
Boy, you're not wrong.
Friday and Saturday were some rough days to be wrestling fans, let me tell you.
Boy, they were. That collision show, man, will go in infamy about being as bad as it was.
It was pretty bad. So, with that being said, we love y'all. We'll see you next time. Deuces!
Later.